Now let's take a look at the arteries of the cat. In this video, we're going to look at the arteries of the upper body. So that's going to be the ones from the heart all the way up into the ones in the neck. First thing, what I tell all my classes to do, study the roadmap. If you cannot draw the diagram and you cannot label that diagram correctly, there's no need to look at any of these cats. When you look at the videos, you look at pictures of cats, you're more of looking at what's this, or what's this, or what is it when it's out here? Ooh, what's this one when it's going up? And if you're looking at them like that, you're memorizing them, that's that, that's this, and then that has this name, you're going to be memorizing it for one particular cat. But the reason why you do cat dissections in anatomy and physiology, you're not really looking at, this is a model, this is what we're going to label. Now you're going to be looking at, these are going to be anatomical variations that are going to be very difficult for you to figure out. So now, let's take a closer look. So here, you can see the heart. And the heart is pretty easy to see. And what you're going to be looking at, right down here, you have the heart. And in the heart, you're going to have this sac. And if you look right here, I'm picking this up. You can see that it's cut. And you can see that the heart is going to be enclosed into this sac. And on both sides, you can look around, it's going to be enclosed into this almost bag. When you look at this, that outer cavity or that outer layer is going to be the parietal pericardium. Inside of it, so on both sides, inside of it, this is where you're going to have your pericardial fluid. So you have your pericardial, your parietal pericardial fluid, and then if you look right here, that makes this layer that surrounds the heart itself the visceral pericardium. So now let's look a little bit closer at the arteries. So if you go through and you memorize the roadmap, you're going to see this is the aortic arch. The aortic arch is going to have two different branches. First branch is going to be the brachiocephalic. The second one on this side, if you get rid of that, this is going to be the left subclavian. So let's look at this side first. So the brachiocephalic comes up and it will branch into three different arteries. You have the left common carotid right there, right common carotid right there, and then this one going out into the arm, this one is your right subclavian. The subclavians on both sides are going to be kind of interesting because they're all going to have the same branches. So if we look at this, we kind of take this, lift this up, you'll be able to see this is going to have three different branches going up. Pull that down, pull that around. That right there is a cranial nerve coming down called the vagus nerve. But if I take that vagus nerve and kind of remove it out of the way, I can then see there are going to be three arteries sticking up. I take those three arteries, and then you can see 1, 2, 3. Right there is the first one. That's the first of the three coming up. That's the vertebral. The next one coming up is going to be the costocervical, and the third one going up is going to be the thyrocervical. If you look over here on the left side, you can lift this up, take this, and you can see vertebral, costo, thyrocervical. The one going forward that's cut here this one right there, that's going to be the internal mammary. And if you keep going, like if you're going right subclavian, right after that road mark of the thyrocervical, you then have the axillary. So after that, this becomes the axillary. You have a ventral thoracic going up, a long thoracic going down. You don't really see the long thoracic on this side because, let me move that nerve. And here, you can't really see it on this side either because I have it cut. But that is the internal mammary, and down there is your long thoracic that's cut. All the way out here, after the axillary, becomes the brachial. And if you go all the way out here, you dissect all the way out there. This is right here going up. That's going to be the ventral thoracic. But if I keep dissecting this all the way out, I'm going to see one going to the bottom of the scapula. That's going to be the subscapular. And if I follow this all the way up, so now I have the left and the right common carotids. And if I follow this all the way up, bringing it all the way there, you see this one going inward. And then you'll see another one up here going inward. You have two branches. The first branch is the occipital. The next one is the internal carotid. And if I continue this all the way up, and keep dissecting this all the way, you'll see now you're going to have one going out. So you have occipital, internal carotid. That's going to be the external carotid going up, and then continuing up, you'll have a lingual and then an external maxillary. But you can't see them because they're way up there. And if you kind of look here, you will have this landmark right there called the transverse jugular vein, and the veins are much easier to see than the artery. But if you just take the road map, memorize it, you're then only looking at what are the branches coming off. And if you do that, this becomes much simpler. Good luck.